Bear Cave MMA, motherfuckers! Let's go!
Starting now! Alright, I didn't introduce us. You introduced us last podcast.
Okay.
Co-hosts are equals. We
okay,
share pizza,
so you should...
We share introduction.
You should start fucking introducing us.
Well, I'm Rich. I'm a Taurus.
Never been here before in his life.
I'm supposed to be level-headed.
Really?
No.
I was going to say, I'm the level-headed one. And I'm Josh Quagliato. And today we have Andrew...
No, you're stealing my...
For fuck's sake, go ahead.
Andrew's here. And Christopher Gracie.
No one knows Andrew's last name.
Andrew Castro.
Castro.
I prefer to be a mystery.
Andrew.
Andrew
your mother call it.
Andrew, this is your mother call. You're gonna be on a podcast tonight. Don't fucking make me disappointed.
Like I was telling you earlier today, like 50 people you've never seen before in your life are now going to know about you, man. They're going to judge you based off of this app.
And most of our viewers are black people. 99% of our viewers are black people. The other 1%, Orientals.
Have we actually broken that down, or are you just saying Rico's our biggest fan?
No, I saw a black guy listening to us on
Like,
YouTube.
you watched him, you were looking at him, you're like, oh, he's listening to the fucking podcast right now.
And I was like,
that's my podcast.
I put up the Black Panther fist, and it was...
Shaw doesn't count.
Oh, well.
Oh, good.
Okay, then... I don't know.
Yes.
That kind of...
Okay, let's try to save this with something not fucking racist.
Oh, new season of BoJack Horseman is out. Have you watched any of that episode?
Season 3.
No.
4 episodes in.
So not the new season, the new season?
Yeah, this season 3.
Ooh,
Four
no, I
episodes
haven't
in.
watched it.
Yo.
Is it good?
What's
up, bitches?
But not that.
But not that. Something like that.
But something like that.
That's what we needed you to do.
Alright, so...
The spoilers. We forgot the spoiler alert. We fucked up.
It don't matter.
It's
I ain't
game
gonna
over.
watch it anyway.
So...
It's for our 50 viewers, man. They probably
Hey,
watch
spoiler.
Oh,
in
my bad.
episode 2, someone says the phrase, "What's up, bitches?"
it. Thank you. You see, there's a very regimented way to do that.
At least we're not ruining Game of Thrones.
I stopped watching that. I read
Everyone
the books.
fucks and dies.
That's
Well, they fuck while they're dying.
But there's usually like really long pauses between
The
all that
fucking and the
happens.
dying.
The fucking and the dying.
Someone has to walk across the fucking winter tundra to
I just
fucking
want
die.
the new season of Archer to be on Netflix. That's all
I know. All I'm
yeah,
waiting for is this fucking...
fucking love Archer.
I
I've
already binged
rewatched
the
it
last
like
season.
4
Season
times. It's not
6.
even funny.
Season 6 was on. I fucking binged it. Rewatched the whole thing. Binge season 6. Binge season 6 again. Rewatched the whole thing.
I've watched the whole thing front to back like
I
4
know,
times.
so
now.
many
I'm just
times.
starting it. I just started it. I'm like
Watch it
episode
all.
5 now.
It's one of the best fucking shows.
Yeah, my friend.
It's pretty good.
My friend
First
was
episode
watching
I thought
it
was
all the
5,
time.
and then I thought it got a little lewd, and then it was just amazing again.
Yeah.
It was a little excessive in the early. I was
FFX.
like, oh, all right.
FXX. We're fucking promoting your show.
I fucking
Sponsor
watched.
us.
I
Come
watched
on.
the one with
Promoting the show.
And we live
when they were
The Office.
when they were killing Toval. They were killing Toval Dutney, and he's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
screaming at Woodhouse like, "What the fuck you think you're sitting at the table? You think you're fucking people? What? He thinks he's people."
Jesus
That's like
Christ.
Brock Lesnar. He thinks he's people, but he's like morphed into some kind of superhuman.
I'll be fucking
Like
born in
Roman
Michigan and
God
declare myself
shit.
a fucking Canadian.
This is perfect. So I want to talk about, would you consider the new doping policy to be in its infancy?
Oh well, yeah. 'cause
Yeah, I would
it's
say
brand
the
new.
new... Yeah.
Like Dick, you
In case
motherfucker.
anyone wants to know, Josh did just do the jerk-off thing to our faces. But go on.
Yeah.
No.
I
I
took
was
it
just,
to the face.
I
like
feel
a
like the
shotgun.
last like week,
I know
week
what
and a
the
half,
villagers
2
of
weeks,
Pompeii
there's been,
feel
you know, a shit ton of fighters that have just been slapped with the fucking banhammer. Like, what are you doing?
Yo, people have been getting knocked out by
It's
PEDs
been ridiculous.
in the UFC quicker than the Orlando shooting.
I'm just confused how Brock got caught the same time that Jones got caught. But what,
Okay.
what really happened was they were like, well, we need something for a main event. So everybody knows.
I just want to say McGregor's revenge came through.
No,
McGregor got kicked out of UFC 200 for missing a press conference that Mark Hunt, Jon Jones, Brock Lesnar, and Daniel Cormier were not present
That was
at.
the point that fucking Hunt was bringing up, though, for the Fighters Association. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, Hunt
Mark
was
Hunt
No,
sorted
it's
his-
not bullshit. Okay, here's the thing. You have a fucking job. In your contract, it says, show up to this place today. And Conor McGregor's like, nah, I'm going to be in Iceland. I'm not even gonna pretend I'm gonna come. Like,
You know what happened
you
to
signed
my
the
boss?
contract.
Wait.
You only get paid millions because you fucking show up to the press conference.
You know what my
Well,
boss
he
would
said
do
he-
if I was like, hey, I know I'm supposed to be in Melville today, but Riverhead sounds lit. They'd be like, well, you know you're fired, right? You know that's what happens,
But the
right?
thing is, they asked him to do more than everybody. They wanted him to do a world tour. And he's like, I'll do, like, New York and California, but I'm not doing a world fucking tour.
They didn't cut him
And
off
Dana
because
was
he
like,
didn't do the
it's
world
like,
tour.
but I want to whore you out. And McGregor was
But
like...
it's in the contract. He knows it's in the contract. You can't just not show up. You
And then he
signed
did,
He
and
can,
UFC
but then they
ate
told
a
him
dick
for the
because
200.
UFC 200 was a
But it
disappointment.
doesn't matter
Brock
because they still
Lesnar-
made,
disappointment.
as bad
Brock
as it was,
Lesnar
they
still made
still
a shit
made
ton of
as
money.
much money
No,
as
they
they
didn't.
wanted
More
to.
fun
No,
than
they
the main
didn't.
event.
No,
They're
wait,
saying
wait. He
pay-per-view
said,
sales
he
are
said
down.
as they wanted,
As they wanted to.
Not as they
This is the
would
thing,
have with
okay, well,
If
McGregor.
McGregor was on that card, there would have been more
No, no, but
pay-per-view
here's-
sales.
okay, wait, wait.
I will not hear
Definitely.
anything
Wait,
else.
Hey,
Here's-
wait, you know who doesn't care? The UFC execs who fucking sold UFC.
Look
Huff
at,
pig.
yeah. Wait. But look at it this way: if Conor McGregor's on UFC 200, let's say they make $1 billion. Let's pretend a number, $1 billion. But then UFC 202, they're not making that much money. Now they got all of the UFC 200 money and all of the Conor McGregor 202 money.
Well,
Well, it would've
I would
worked out
say it
more
didn't
if
work
Jones
out
stayed on
because
the
UFC
card.
200 was supposed to be a great
fucking
thing,
killed me.
and it
was-
didn't turn out that great.
Wait,
But everyone still
wait,
bought it,
just-
and then
just
found out it
wait, one
wasn't.
second.
Did they though? They're saying everything is down under what they expected they were going to hit. All the numbers are lower than what they thought they were going to hit.
Don't care because Jones disappointed me. I was willing to be a Jon Jones
Oh,
meat rider.
Jones
I
is a
was
dickhead.
willing to ride that massive meat, regardless of what was thrown at me. It was a difficult job, but I stuck with it every fucking podcast, every day. Fuck Gustafsson, fuck DC, fuck Rumpel. I was like, Jon Jones, it's fucking Jon motherfucking Jones. And you're all like, fucking Nordic fucking dude, fuck that. I was like, Jon fucking Jones. And he fucks me. He fucking fucked me, and now I look fucking stupid.
You know what happened? Chael Sonnen called it. He's like, if he's
calls it
popped,
every
he's
fight,
he's gonna
though.
get popped with estrogen blockers,
He called it last
which isn't
time,
a surprise because Jon Jones has been beefing up like a madman with all the heavy weightlifting.
It's-
I think it's more so that he started taking it. If he wasn't taking it previously, I can't.
You know
make
what
those
I think
claims.
is worse than
Well,
Jon
did you-
Jones because it was kind of like expected and
Lesnar,
like
and nobody really was
Lesnar
like, yep.
because he didn't need to do this event. He had the WWE making millions,
Yeah.
and everybody kind of knew he was doing steroids. Like it
And
wasn't
we
a
just
surprise.
threw Hunt
It's
at
just
him
But
like
there
it
was no
was
like
assumed.
actual proof, and now there's proof,
But what's
which
the
kind of
difference?
ruins his
The difference
career.
with Jon Jones and Brock Lesnar is we knew Brock was doing steroids,
And we were
he
willing
got
to
popped,
accept it.
but he got popped for estrogen blockers, so he stopped taking the steroids. Like Jon Jones, we
That
didn't
doesn't-
know.
no.
But I'm saying we didn't
Do
know
you
Jon Jones
understand
was on
that-
anything.
Do you know how cycles work?
He
No,
had
no,
to
no, no.
restart his endocrine system.
I know,
That's the
but I'm
point.
saying what I'm saying is like we didn't know Jon Jones was on anything, and then gets popped for estrogen. Because
Well,
we
did-
still don't know that Jon Jones took steroids. We just
know-
know that he took the shit to cover up that he took
Well,
steroids.
You know what I
did
think?
you
No,
hear about the
wait,
last
wait,
US
wait,
ADA
wait.
like test?
Just
he
hold on one
went,
second,
He
wait,
went
wait.
under the training thing and spilt his fucking piss to hide away from the US ADA. He was hiding from the drug tests.
But wait, do you understand why you take estrogen
Yeah,
blockers?
to restart the cycle.
Okay, because the way you're making it sound like
No,
he
I'm
was
just
trying
saying
to
like
cover up.
No, I did not cover it up, but he's trying to be like when he was taking them is to restart the cycle and everything. So like in hoping, I think he was hoping it would start in time that everything would be back to normal.
It
By the
doesn't
time
need.
that
It
he
doesn't
took
really
the
need to be.
test.
You know what
normal
I think
by then.
is-
It's just
Either way,
a
it's
matter
still
of
in the
after you
system.
take a
Yeah.
cycle, you give off so much testosterone, and then you stop taking the artificial testosterone and shit.
Yeah.
You need something to block the estrogen that's going to build up. Otherwise, your body producing testosterone on its own is not enough to counterbalance that, and you fuck yourself. So he was taking the blockers so his body could, slowly start to pick up again. It wasn't to,
or else you get bitch tits.
yeah.
Not to cover it up.
You know what
I
I
didn't mean
think
to
is
cover it up. I
most
meant, but
worrying
like,
though
yeah.
about the whole thing is that the UFC hit it. That's how you know, like that they do whatever the fuck they want, which is why I always support when somebody stands up like McGregor or Mark Hunt now, because first of all they were like, okay, Brock Lesnar, you don't have to test all these months ahead because we want you to save the event because McGregor fucked us. Then they find out that he popped for PEDs. And then they didn't say anything until after the event
They're
because
just like, we forgot to
the
look at
test
the
results
test.
came through like a week before the fight, and they're like, "Well, if Brock Lesnar's not on the event, then we don't have any revenue. We gotta like that. That's it. That's the whole card."
Another thing they were saying is like hey, like that's what they were talking about, like, hey, we're gonna sell it now because Ronda just got knocked out, Jon Jones just got pulled for steroids. We have a bunch
fighters
of
are.
all the iconic names are just falling like including Connor by Nate.
You know?
So they were just saying like, hey, let's build this 200 to be like the maximum pay-per-view whatsoever, and then we're just gonna sell it for $4 billion.
They definitely got the most profit because of when they sold it. If
You know, when they
waited till,
sold
like,
it, that's the biggest sell in
Yeah.
sports history for any
for any
franchise.
organization.
at $2 million.
But it's crazy because, like, if they waited, like, to talk, like, let's say they started negotiations today, they would get, like, half. Like, they honestly wouldn't get jack shit compared to what they actually
You know
got.
what? The craziest thing about the sale is, like, what you said is that how much they bought it for like $1 million, $2 million. This is probably the fastest growing sport in history.
Yeah.
Like, what was it, like, 10, 15 years ago? Nothing. Now it's on
really.
It was
Fox.
fucking 10
selling
years
for
ago, it was
$4
Anderson
billion.
Silva. 10 years ago, if anyone's
Anderson
talking about...
Silva just knocked out Chris Lieben.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you say 10 years ago, you're like, oh, Anderson Silva as MMA. I couldn't name another fighter 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Like
Was George St. Pierre even on the scene?
I don't even
I
know.
think it was
Around
like
10
Matt Hughes days.
Yeah.
I feel like around 10 years ago, that's like the start of like Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Yeah, that was 2005, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was,
Early on.
Yeah.
one of the greatest fights.
I mean,
You know
that's the
what's
thing that
crazy?
started
Chad
it all.
Mendez, 2-year suspension.
That blew my fucking mind.
It blew my mind, but I fucking hate Team Alpha Male. Hate them.
Why?
I don't mind.
They're the I just don't.
They're the frat douches of the MMA world, but still, like, I don't know, Chad Mendez, he puts on a
did
good
I
I
like
like
Uriah Faber. I say, and
I like Uriah Faber
Joseph
a lot more.
Benavidez is
And
pretty
Paige
cool.
Van Zandt. Sexy. But
Just because you're in love with her doesn't mean shit. Cody,
when
no
I moved
love,
to Las
I can't
Vegas,
pronounce his last
Paige,
name.
listen to this
Like,
podcast.
I respect
and then
Dillashaw. I like Dillashaw.
He's not part of
He's not
Alpha
there.
Male anymore.
He's
No.
not.
What's your problem, bro?
What the Chad
That's
Mendes
old
thing?
news.
The Chad Mendes thing.
Bad vibes.
Looking at Chad Mendes, I'm not surprised, but the way he talked, that's why I was surprised. But looking at him, I'm like, I could see it.
It's one of those things, though, where now comes into question, especially like with Jones Mendez, how long were they doing it for? Because Mendez...
That's what I want to know is Jones.
Well, that's just it. Because then that takes a lot away
Well,
from
that's what
Jones.
Gustafsson was saying. He's like, Jones is no longer the GOAT. He's
Yeah.
like, we don't know how long he was doing
And
steroids
I said
for.
that with Silva, too. The second Silva popped, even though it
Well,
was
not
likely
the
that
GOAT.
Silva just did that.
And they
to
just
Dillashaw.
named
It's over.
John Jones the GOAT on UFC 200
Yeah.
Greatest Fighters on the show that they put on Fox Sports.
Done.
I
I don't
was
need
like,
to go anymore. No, done. I suck that
See,
man's dick.
it's so different, though, because, like, until we know, like, the Anderson Silva thing, like, let's be honest, that was for his leg. Even if he did
Okay.
other stuff,
Don't care.
but, like, if you're talking about Jon Jones, like, we don't know yet. You can't even compare it yet, because we
How
don't
long
know.
do you think
You'll
it
never
went
know.
back?
Honestly, I think it was
It
after
could
he
be
was already
anything.
suspended.
It
I think
really
it was
could be
within the
anything.
last year and a half. I think it was...
So for
Wait.
OSP, do you think he did steroids before
I
that
think-
I
fight?
say
I
no.
think-
No.
I think
Before
it was-
OSP?
Wait, I say no.
I
You
think
say
after
no?
OSP.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I'm saying he bulked up, he did powerlifting, and he fought OSP, and he realized that that wasn't the shit for him. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think he did roids and able to do enough training to cut down. Because he was like, I got all this shit. I think he just conditioned the fuck out of himself to, like, cut it off a little bit, because he was like, I fucked up. How do I fix this ASAP? Now, there was also the thing, like you were talking about, where he hid from a drug test, which they can't entirely prove.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where, like, if he did, then, you know, he's been hot for that long, if not longer. So it's one of those things.
What's
where-
interesting with the Jon Jones thing, too, is his brother just popped. In the
Yeah, I
NFL,
saw
Arthur
that.
Jones. And what's interesting about that is that
I didn't hear
the
about that.
NFL... Yeah, Arthur Jones popped today for...
Oh, it was
or
today?
yesterday.
I know
It
I
was
saw
today or
it.
yesterday.
If you get popped by the NFL, you're a fucking retard.
He's suspended 4 games.
Honestly.
That's true.
Because they tell
They
you
don't
when
tell.
they're coming
But
to test
but
you.
what's interesting about that is they only say if it's for weed. If it's for other things, they never release. The NFL rarely releases. They won't
Okay,
say, "Oh,
let's
it's
just get
actually
this straight. The
vodka."
NFL is so fucking corrupt. It's
Yeah,
not even
no, but it's the
no,
thing. Is
definitely.
like, if it's for weed, like Josh Gordon, LeGarrette Blunt, they're like they pop for weed. But for anything else, they never say if it was estrogen blockers, steroids, human growth. They never say what it is.
Well,
if
they
you're
just-
telling me that NFL players can be like 350 pounds
Lean.
and fucking lean,
Yeah.
and they're not on steroids, you're out of your
No,
fucking mind.
I'm
It's
just
not
saying
that
You're
they're
out of
only
your
on
fucking mind.
steroids. They're on the fucking painkillers every single
Yeah.
day. They pump them like they're fucking
Oh,
like
yeah.
bug-eyed.
And it's a
not
bad
even able to-
image for the NFL.
No, but
if
my-
they release
my
the
point is, though,
PEDs.
like-
And then they're fucking pulling Tom Brady out for a quarter of a season.
like,
because
I want
he's,
the NFL
like,
to tell
throwing
me-
out his phone.
I want the NFL to tell me, like, did Arthur Jones pop for estrogen? Like, was it the same shit or was it different? Like, I want to know that information, but
It doesn't-
they're not going to tell
it
It was
doesn't
probably for
necessarily
PEDs.
matter.
It
He
doesn't
didn't
matter,
need
but I just wanna
estrogen
know.
blockers. Why would he need it? He's never coming down
No,
from
it
you know.
doesn't matter.
You-
But at
you
the same
have to
time,
cycle.
like,
You can't just do it. You can't indefinitely take steroids. You cycle. You take a shit ton of it, and unless you want to destroy everything in your fucking body, you cycle off for a little bit. So you let your body start naturally producing test again, which is when you take the estrogen blockers, and then you start again. And you do, like, I'm assuming a cocktail of, like, you know, testosterone, HGH, shit like that. So I'm assuming it's probably done during the off season when they're building a shit ton of muscle, getting jacked out of their fucking mind, or maybe
that's what I'm
pre-season.
saying. It's probably PEDs, not estrogen.
No, but
blockers,
I'm just saying, like,
right
it's
now.
interesting because, like, being that they're brothers, like, maybe John was doing what Arthur was doing, and that would give, I feel like just knowing what it was, I just think knowing what it was specifically may give us, like, a hint to how long and what it was.
So now, but then, I'm curious, you know, this is turning us into a whole story that none of us have any fucking idea about, but you're Jon Jones, you just got big as shit, and now you're feeling slow. Your brother's out there fucking jacked as shit, fucking doing what he fucking does, big as shit too, and you're like, bro, what the fuck? And he's like, you know, I take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, take some of those, and after 6 months, I take a couple of these. And
does he also get this Italian accent?
Hey,
hey man, maybe he bought the steroids in Italy, you know? You go, no, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know?
Either way, they're most likely not the two like brightest individuals in the entire world.
Do you think Jon Jones can come back from this, or is this the nail in the coffin?
Dana White should just say Huff Pain.
Dana White says he's not talking to him. Dana White's like, I don't answer his call.
Yeah, but I think like he's too much of a money grabbing.
Oh, Dana White spoke for Donald Trump at the GOP
Oh my
convention.
mind.
I didn't even.
Did you
want
listen
to
to the speech?
No.
I refuse.
Supposedly Donald Trump was like one of the people in the beginning who thought MMA had a chance to go somewhere, and he's like the first main like person to let UFC have a fight at his hotels.
Then
that is true. That is
sense.
true. That is, yeah.
And that he's always been supportive of MMA and Dana White.
Well, Dana White's like, hey, I heard you need your back scratched.
Well, Dana White, no, well, the thing is, Dana White, in last October, I guess it was, when Donald Trump first said he was running, Dana White said he didn't know where he was going to land. And then once Donald Trump got the nomination, he's like, oh, well, now I agree with him. I'm like,
that's politics.
You know, it's very, it was very political. It was interesting.
I mean, can you blame him, though? The guy could possibly become president of the United States, legalize MMA across the board, heavy influence.
Well, it's already across the board now.
Oh,
New York was the last state.
that was the last state? All right, I'm
ignorant.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I've disappointed everybody. Again?
Did you see Jon Stewart on Colbert, though?
I didn't watch the thing. I saw.
Yeah, I watched that.
That was pretty hysterical, though.
Did you see the Eric Andre guy from
fucking, he's in
Cartoon Network, the late night thing? What is it called?
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim.
Yeah.
He crashed the GOP convention.
Ah.
Yeah, I was watching a bunch of the videos. They're pretty funny.
It's weird though, because like
that entire.
This is the craziest election. I was telling Josh before. I was like, I thought Obama was going to be the craziest election we've ever seen. You know, all the black support. But this is crazy. Did you see the bikers that went into Cleveland to support Trump? Fucking like thousands of bikers for Trump came in to support him and to like help protect the police.
You know, this is the only time I've seen people legitimately this up in arms and such ridiculous shit. It's like not even
like violent protests.
I feel like it's like a whole like election more on like
what's funny though
hate than hope. Honestly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, regardless of who fucking wins, I feel like we're about to deal with some shit.
You know what, man? Yeah, Bernie Sanders, he fucking sold out. He sold out. And he endorsed Hillary. He's like, I'm a guy.
I think it's more of like a thing to like make sure Donald doesn't win.
No, but what bothers me about the whole anti-Donald Trump thing is like, you don't have to endorse anyone. If you're Bernie Sanders, you can just go, I'm not going to endorse anyone.
He just did that to save his political career.
No, but I'm
saying dead in the water.
There was some post about it. I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not a very political guy. But apparently another president did something very similar, and then when it goes to, say, convention or something like that, he could then, pop out and be like, fuck it, go for me. So one of those things, like, I still want to believe. And I'm not voting for either.
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Well, it's like...
He stuck to his guns. I hate Ted Cruz, but
he stuck to his guns. I respected that,
He's a fucking Zodiac killer.
I love all those memes. I want to chuck this out here right now. Listen to me very carefully. You don't have to vote for one of the
Gary
two.
Johnson.
Gary Johnson.
There are other people you can vote for. There literally are.
Gary Johnson.
I've had family members who are like, well, I have to choose between one of the two. No, you fucking don't.
Since November, I've been on the Gary Johnson train. I haven't fucking stopped this shit. Let's go.
Well, I think one of the craziest...
You can listen to Gary Johnson on Joe Rogan's podcast, too.
I watched the whole Joe Rogan podcast. He's
I heard this on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, during, like the primaries, if you're not, like, registered with a party, you cannot vote
Yeah,
for the party.
no, you
That's
can't.
the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, if you're an independent, you can't vote for a Democrat or, like,
Because
you want to play
then you
both
could
sides
vote
of the
for
field.
both. You have. I feel like if
But
you,
this is just not
No.
for the presidency.
No,
for the
like, just
but I'm saying-
Yeah, well, you're
But
not
that's
part of
just
the
it.
party. Why are you going to vote?
because then you would have people who say you're a Democrat, you would vote for who you don't want to, and as a Republican to fuck shit up.
It's like if
I'm
we had a
totally okay
soccer
with that.
team, Andrew, and then you voted on what jerseys we're getting. It's like,
like,
you're not
who
on our
the fuck
fucking
are you?
soccer team. Like, get the fuck
Wait.
out of here.
Stony Brook Jiu-Jitsu, and out of nowhere, Danny's like, I don't really like that design. Danny, these people have no idea who you are. What's going on?
No, but well, I was gonna say the Eric Andre thing and the Daily Show did the same thing. They had their correspondent. They only do it. They go to the Republican convention and go, "Oh, there's no black people here," but they don't go to the Democratic National Convention because you know who shows up? Still just white people. It's
There
one
was
of the,
some black
no,
people
no,
at the
exactly.
GOP
But it's one of those
convention.
things where it's like it's the same representation at each thing, but they don't do it because it doesn't look good in the media. Then you know what I mean? It doesn't help the agenda of
No.
it's the Republican Party's old white men. No one else, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, when you go ask old white men, like, yeah, that's how it's gonna
That's
look
what's-
if you just put the camera on them.
It was killing me. They were talking about like Hillary's new angle about the children. I'm like, fuck all of this. This is ridiculous.
I
hate
just
politics.
I just don't know who I hate
Honestly.
more at this point. I just hate.
I hate
both.
Hillary more,
I
hands
hate
down. I
Hillary,
think Donald
yeah.
Trump's
She's-
an asshole, but I don't think he's like he's a douchebag.
He's-
Hillary's just a
The thing with
piece of
Donald
shit.
Trump is he could either set the country on fire or not do anything he's gonna say and just like let the vice
Oh, what were
president
you
run the
saying
country.
today about the Hillary
Okay.
thing getting fired?
Okay, imagine like here's my analogy for Hillary
I've heard
Clinton.
this.
Imagine you're like the chief of staff for a company,
Mm-hmm.
and you get fired because you're shitty at your job, and then the CEO retires, and you get the CEO's job. Imagine how crazy that would be. Just think, like, imagine that everyone would be like, "Who the you got fired for being shitty, and now you're my boss?" Like that would be
how did
insane.
this happen?
That would be insane. That's what voting for Hillary Clinton would be like. She got fired for being so shitty at her job, and now
Back
like,
there, wait, the FBI's like, yeah, she did it, but we're not gonna charge her or do anything. Fuck does
Oh,
that
that was
mean?
sketchy
Yeah.
as fuck.
It's
Especially when
messed
Bill
up.
landed at the same airport as... What is that?
Oh, all right, hold on.
is it easy?
Is that a vape pen?
It is. It's Montague. I actually was randomly saw it on Facebook.
There's so much hate on vaping now.
This isn't like I guess it is typically, but it's more aromatherapy. Instead of hitting it into your lungs, take a breath and then blow it out your
That's what I
nose.
did. I found.
Yeah, you
is
just-
it e-cig or is it?
It is an e-cig. It's a vaporizer, but there's no nicotine in it. It's got the 3 ingredients on the side. It's
pretty
lavender,
Yeah, it
lemongrass,
felt
and
very
valerian.
nice.
It's supposed to be a mellow one to like
Tastes like
calm
an air
you down.
freshener.
Yeah, the idea you just little in your mouth and then you inhale and then exhale through your nose, so it gets the most of aromatherapy. Like if you burn a candle, except for it's direct. Supposed to take like a couple puffs before bed or when you want to mellow out. I like it. I recommend Montague because it was super fucking cheap and it's supposed to last for like a
Montague,
month.
sponsor us.
Ah.
Probably should put that in the beginning or the end of the podcast, but it's fine. The middle.
No, sneak it in the middle.
Sneak it in.
Yeah.
Sneak
That
it
way,
in.
you know, someone has to actually be listening to it. And they're like,
Right,
oh
right.
shit, fuck yeah, these guys.
Montague.
I'll stick to my Keef snacks.
But I was like, yeah, you don't have to burn every night before bed. You could turn to Montague Sleep Aid. They have energized ones. They have focus ones. I haven't fucked with that shit, but
Thanks, Josh.
Hashtag
welcome.
sponsors.
hashtag we would like some money.
Hashtag. Oh, the Mark
Hashtag
Hunt
please.
Fighters Association thing. I think this is great.
I think
We
Mark
need-
Hunt is the
Yeah,
perfect figure. to
100%.
have.
100%.
Who doesn't?
They needed a union for the longest time because the UFC does whatever the fuck
Honestly,
they want.
honestly.
I mean, I wrote a whole paper on the whole.
They need a big star to get
Yeah,
on board.
they
'cause
need-
Mark
I think
Hunt's
Mark-
not enough.
I think Mark Hunt is good enough to fuck every. You know, Mark Hunt as a big fucking Samoan guy who knocks people out.
But you need a big star that like gets attention. You know,
Well, it's like
you need
okay,
the
look at the
star
NBA,
power.
all that shit. Every players' association, every players' union is always represented. They say, okay, who's a top 5, who's a top 10 star? Chris Paul, LeBron James was for a while. It's always that guy has to be a representative, otherwise we're not going to win.
Well, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like the same reason why that ESPY speech got like
They
all that.
need
Yeah,
somebody-
exactly.
They need like Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey, or
And neither of which will do it.
No.
Connor, I
I
could
think-
see maybe, but I
I
don't
think
see
Conor. Ronda fucking is
Well, it's
updating his
interesting, like-
asshole though.
because she has to just show up and then she's gonna get the
Yeah.
title fight again.
Well,
Ridiculous.
no, Dana White said she gets the next shot, which is
Exactly.
weird.
Ridiculous.
I love that Amanda Nunes wins. I love how
That
the
was a
belt
great
just
fight,
keeps
too.
changing
Man.
hands.
That was a great fight.
We left early. I was
She
done
fucked her
with
up. Oh,
UFC
me and
200.
Andrew-
That was a boring fucking card.
Andrew was pretty fucked
I
up.
was,
but
I
I
was,
finished
I was,
watching.
I was a few.
Actually, I
beers
shouldn't say it was a
deep.
boring card. I enjoyed the card.
It was a great
but
card. It was just
I was expecting it to be the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever,
Underwhelming.
and it was not
Wait.
the greatest thing
Well,
ever.
that's
It
the
was
problem. We're
good,
gonna
but
have
not the
any card
greatest
like
thing
that.
ever.
Can we just throw Mark Hunt something really quick? Dude's not on fucking any sort of PEDs.
No.
Lesnar, the gigantic, God knows
He
what
looked
this
bigger
man
than he
is.
used to, too, in the fight.
Yeah, he did.
He looked
like
humongous.
I
he
didn't
looked like a
notice
big
that.
boy.
I'll be honest. I'm not a big Lesnar guy.
Fucking
But-
coming out with Enter Sandman.
But this is
Right.
this is perfect with Mark Hunt because of the Reebok deal fucks the UFC fighters. How they banned Ariel Helwani.
I
They
now
eventually
I
got his credentials back.
hated that.
Yeah.
And what is
The
it? And
Conor
now
McGregor
they
thing
just
kicking him
changed
off the
hands?
card and the Brock thing. I'm like,
And especially now that they've just changed hands, now is a perfect time to
The
hammer
fighters
that
union,
shit
yeah,
home.
perfect. The thing is, I wrote a paper about the UFC, the fighters making a fighter union, and the thing is, like, they need the biggest fighters because if it's like small fighters, the UFC's just gonna go like, okay, go fuck
Leave.
yourselves. We're
Leave.
gonna take everyone. They'll just take Bellator people. They'll just be like, fuck it, we'll take whoever we can get. But if you get like guys like Mark Hunt, you get someone like maybe not Conor, but you get like maybe a Diaz brother. You get
Oh yeah.
maybe you
Diaz-
get maybe
if
you get
Everybody's
both
on
Diaz
steroids.
brothers-
maybe you get
Okay.
maybe you get an
the
Anthony
Diaz brothers
Pettis,
aren't
like,
big enough because they're
still-
unactive so many times. It
no,
doesn't matter.
okay,
The
but I'm
UFC
saying like maybe you get like
Yeah,
an
but-
Anthony Pettis. He's not the champ now, but he's still up there. Like you get
He's on the fucking.
you get the quality fighters
phone
that you
commercial.
need. That
Yeah.
might be good enough. You might get the guys. You don't
they need to
necessarily
get some of the champs.
Yeah, they
like
need
a
a
Robbie
champ or
Lawler
two.
would be good.
If
Robbie
Lawler
Lawler would be
spoke
perfect
out,
for them.
especially in these.
You
Robbie
know
Lawler.
who would be the best?
Joanna.
Demetrius.
Yeah, well,
Ah.
yeah.
No, I
No,
disagree.
For the
he-
fighters-
he brings in the least pay-per-views
Not
out of
no
all
no.
the
I'm
champs.
saying
which is
as the
ridiculous,
representative,
honestly.
not as like the main guy, not as the guy for the push, but as like the guy because he's honestly one of the smartest. Like if you listen to him, he's not fucking brain damaged.
very
you know what I mean?
well-spoken.
He's
Yeah.
very well spoken. He knows. So if you can get someone else to support him, and they go, okay, Ronda Rousey or Conor, whoever
Like
supporting him,
Demetrius
and he's
Johnson's
gonna
the
talk
shit.
for you. Demetrius is gonna talk for you. I think you're gonna get shit done once you get that
Actually,
other big guy for you.
I agree with that on multiple levels because then that's good because people are gonna be like, well, who is Demetrius Johnson?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, okay, this is the champion for how fucking long, for how many fights,
Yeah.
and he's well spoken.
I
He's
don't-
a good figurehead.
I don't think he's ever gonna really hit it big popular-wise.
No.
Because it's hard for the small guys.
Yeah.
Because you get some douchebag who has like a tap-out shirt, who's drinking at the bar, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy's like
Fuck him
5'4", I'd fuck him up.
Like,
You know,
It's
and
like-
it's like, no, you
Demetrius
wouldn't.
Johnson
And
would
then
be
Demetrius
like
Johnson
fucking
would rape
flip.
you 5-way sideways.
he just finished a 5-round
He's-
fight with a
a
top
guy like that,
tier
it's like
fighter,
you're not
and
even
he's
touching
barely
him.
sweating.
You know, a DC, fucking Dominic Cruz, fucking Demetrius Johnson. I don't care how fucking tall he is. You're not fucking getting
You're
near
not-
that guy, and he's gonna pop you right in the nose before you see what
Do
happens.
you know who I think would be good? Chael Sonnen is starting to get drug tested again. He might come back. He would be good
He
for a
literally
representative.
He would.
He's smart. He does politics. He's done all this
He's
stuff
smart
before.
and he's great at fucking lying too.
But wait,
And
didn't-
he's a
good
great
talk
liar.
well.
Didn't-
The man's a
did-
great liar.
Wait. I didn't read the full article, which causes a problem. But didn't he literally say, with how drug testing is now, there's no fucking way I'm coming back?
He said that was a while ago, but he started getting drug. He let them drug test him now.
Okay, because I
He
don't.
did, no.
He
The
might
other
come
day,
back.
yeah,
It-
the
it-
last-
it's still like
he
iffy,
knows
but he
how
might.
good those drug
Well,
tests
okay,
are.
when he was on the Joe Rogan
And that-
podcast last week,
Well, yeah, when
he
he was
basically
talking
was like,
about.
when they were talking about him, he's like, yeah, I got caught. It was basically what he said.
He's like, when he got
makes
caught,
it sound
he
like
was,
it's okay,
he was
though,
talking
if
to
he
Rogan.
admits it.
He's like, yeah, like, I need to talk to you immediately.
Yeah.
Because this is not a $300, like, go to CVS buy. This is like 40, like, K
Yeah,
dollar.
yeah. He called Joe Rogan up. He's like, I need to talk to you in the middle of the fucking night. Like, yeah, I'm about to fail this drug test.
He's like, yeah, about this drug test? It's really fucking good.
With the drug test, did you hear about George Sullivan? He's like one of the small-time UFC fighters. I think he's had only a couple fights. So he told USADA that he was doing some natural supplement, and it turned out that supplement
Oh, is this
was
the guy
tainted or something
that
like
like
that.
canceled his fight or whatever?
Yeah, and then
Okay,
they
yeah.
canceled his fight. But he had like told them, he
What
gave
happened?
the heads up. George
Yeah.
Sullivan, he's only had a couple fights. You know, he's
Okay.
like not known. He's like he was taking like a natural supplement, and he told USADA, he's like, this is what I'm taking. So he told him beforehand.
Yeah, he gave
Turns
him the
out
list. He gave him the
it was
whole list. Okay.
tainted, one of the supplements. So
Right.
they took him off the card. What do you think of that?
That's
do you
again.
do
This,
with that?
I feel like this brings us back to the fighters union thing. Like, okay, if you're saying like,
you
okay,
need someone to
clearly,
have your back
someone
on
has to
that.
have your back. Like, okay, clearly if I give you the list that says this is what I'm taking, and you go, okay, well, one of these we just found out is tainted. Like, you can't put that on me that it's tainted. Like, okay, I'll stop taking it.
Wait, when this starts to get good, because then you start to get people with some inside information who's like, this supplement. It's tainted. We're gonna find out fairly soon. So you're like, wow.
Well, the thing is,
it also sounds
the thing against them is USADA has a list of things that are banned that everyone can look at, which is online. So whatever you're taking, you can look at, and it'll say, "Don't fucking take this."
But I'm saying, like, let's say you start taking ABC fucking protein,
ABC fucking protein.
ABC fucking protein. New brand of protein. I made that shit myself. I start taking
my bathtub.
I start taking that shit after 6 months.
Prison toilet
People
wine.
start seeing massive fucking gains, and USADA is like, this is questionable. They test it. They're like, oh, shit's tainted. You're taking ABC fucking protein because
fucking
you're like,
protein.
I want to get fucking big.
ABC protein and ABC fucking protein are two different proteins.
ABC fucking protein is my fucking protein then.
Well, it also sounds like the same thing with what happened with BJ Penn. With the intravenous, like, rehydration. They told him, like, listen, I got an IV. I mean, I had to rehydrate because these people, when they cut weight, they dehydrate the shit out of them.
Well, that's why they stopped it, because they don't want to.
But it's also one thing, like, if he went to the hospital and he got something, you could blood dope and just go to the hospital for an IV and have the same plastic markings that they were complaining about.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other factors that would pop up, but just the plastic kind of shit
I was
being
so
in your
sad
blood.
when BJ Penn didn't fight.
Right.
I
I
want
know.
BJ Penn to
I
come back
love him.
and murder. Yo, BJ Penn's the greatest.
Until he ran into
Yeah,
Frankie.
you know, actually,
Speaking of old-time fighters, do you know what fight they're trying to set up? Tito Ortiz
versus
versus Fedor.
Fedor.
I was like, yes.
Well, they want him.
Yes.
Who was the other
I
fight? They
don't
want someone
want
else to fight
Fedor
Fedor.
to
They just
fight.
released him from the
Let the
UFC.
Emperor live it.
They just released him from the
He
UFC.
wants to
Fuck,
fight.
they just released someone from the UFC because he wanted to fight.
Crow Cop.
Crow Cop.
But wait.
They released
Ah,
Crow Cop.
that
because
already
he was
happened.
talking-
Wait,
But I'm just saying.
Crow Cop said that they wanted him to snitch. He literally said that the I can't pronounce it right. USAD were literally like, hey, if you fucking snitch, we'll lower this shit or
Crow
whatever.
Cop's like, yo, I'm old. I'm an OG from Croatia. Like, I'm
He's
not
like,
doing
I'm gonna
shit.
go
Whoever
fight
fights
in
Fedor,
Japan, 'cause
Fedor
fuck
versus
you.
Fedor would be interesting.
Did you just see Fedor's last fight? They overturned it.
Did they
He
overturn
won
it?
it,
Why?
and they over. Well,
He
it was so
lost it.
fucking
He
questionable.
lost it.
It was such a questionable fight. He's getting like rocked all over the place.
This is, I just don't
by
want Fedor to
Fabio.
fight. I'm like, you're a fucking goat. You're the fucking emperor. Don't fight anymore, man. I know you want to. Maybe even need
He's
to.
my goat. I was like, he stayed undefeated for 10 years at heavyweight. I was like,
And some people
even
be like,
Cain
oh,
Velasquez
steroids.
can't even hold the belt for
Remember
like
his
more than
highlights
once.
where you get slammed to the fucking ground, and then he's like, "Oh, you want to slam me? Your arm's mine."
It's interesting though. Like you talk about him as the GOAT, but like,
He's a goat.
but he's got knocked the fuck out.
What?
He's lost some. He's
yeah,
lost.
but that's a
territory.
loss.
towards the
after
end, right?
he won for 10
I'm
years.
I'm
in a
not
row.
saying. I'm not saying he's not one of the goats. Maybe the GOAT. But if you look at some of his losses, I mean, he's gotten fucked up in some losses.
After a man has been undefeated for 10 fucking years, you're giving him
Okay,
shit
well, you're
because
gonna
he's
give
no
Jose
longer
Aldo
his prime?
shit. So you're saying Jose Aldo's the GOAT? He went 10 years undefeated, got knocked the fuck out.
Different fucking weight class. He's not
Different
a heavyweight.
weight class.
But
Heavyweight,
still,
every man
I mean-
in heavyweight packs knockout power.
That's true, but I mean,
He could come off of his fucking bed not training for 6 months. He's got knockout
that's
power.
true. I'll give you that.
How great did Jose Aldo look against Frankie Edgar, though?
Wait.
At first, I thought
It
wait,
was solid.
Wait, at first I thought it
Well,
was
wait.
a boring
Why are
fight,
you
but
giving
when,
me the timeout side?
when they broke it down, it was a technical masterpiece.
I'm not saying that Jose Aldo didn't win that fight. I'm
He
not going to
definitely
say
won that fight.
I'm not going to say that Jose didn't win that fight. But let's be honest.
It just wasn't dominance.
He just went for I'm going to not get hit and I'm going to punch you twice in the face in the last 30 seconds. He played
it safe, no doubt he
but
played
it
it
wasn't
safe.
even like
It's like a
it wasn't
Mayweather
like
fight.
in 5 minutes he won like 2.5 minutes. He won 30 seconds of the rounds he won.
It's
That's
not
all
even-
he did.
It's not even.
And
that
I'm
he
not
won-
saying he didn't deserve to win. I'm just saying he won
Did
30
you
seconds.
see that he said that he had a spy in Frankie Edgar's
He's
That was
just
a
trolling.
joke. He reported he was like,
Yeah,
I was
he's
just making
trolling.
fun of Conor McGregor. Like everybody needs to chill the fuck out.
I love
really?
it.
That was-
Did
Yeah.
you see that picture though?
I thought it was weird that
you
he
didn't
would
see
say
that picture when
outward.
they're in the cage and you just saw Conor just in the corner,
Oh,
just
yeah,
staring
okay.
down.
I don't know
at
what
him.
you're talking about.
I thought he looked
got
impressive
some-
against
You think he's
Frankie
gonna go
Edgar.
back to 145?
Who?
Connor.
If McGregor's
Oh yeah,
body can
definitely.
handle it.
He has
Wait,
to. He
has
just
to.
Wait,
He
can
definitely
I-
has
wait,
to.
I got a question
You
for the
can't
panel.
just let that fight go now.
Question for the panel. Does Frankie go to 135?
I would fight Frankie.
What?
Him versus
he can
TJ
easily make
Dillashaw
it.
or him versus Dominic
Frankie can
Cruz?
easily make it, and he'd be one of the best at 135.
Do you know what I love? Is there's so many matchups to be made after this Nate Diaz McGregor fight. Eddie Alvarez wants the winner. Aldo's fighting McGregor no matter what at UFC 205. That's gonna happen.
What do you hear
and
about-
then Dominic Cruz wants to fight the winner of that.
Like Dominic
Like-
Cruz said, if anybody got hurt, he's like, "Put me in, coach."
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
I
Fucking love
I
Dominic
don't
Cruz.
know if Dominic Cruz could win at that weight though.
I don't know either, but I
Because,
want to watch
there's
it.
a difference between getting hit by TJ Dillashaw and getting hit by like a leg kick of Aldo or a fucking left hand by McGregor.
Yeah.
But I also think
like a
he
left
realized-
hand by McGregor will knock you into tomorrow.
But I also think
Cruz.
he's got to realize that he's far from a dumb guy. So I think a lot of times, like a lot of what he does is, getting out of the way of punches and shit. I think he just tones his offense down a
But
little bit,
it-
which isn't impressive.
But the thing was, McGregor. Here, these are my two theories for both fights. McGregor, anytime he touches you, you have a high chance of getting knocked out, especially a smaller guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to catch Dominic Cruz. He's very good at pressuring and cornering. I think he's going to tag Dominic Cruz at least a
Dominic
couple
Cruz
times.
also fights really funkily. I'm not
he's
saying
got some
that
footwork.
Dominic.
But what I'm
not
saying is he'll probably avoid a lot of it, but I'm saying he's going to get caught at least a couple times, and when he does,
I'm not.
he has a chance of
I'm
getting
not
knocked
saying
out.
Dominic Cruz is guaranteed winner. I'm not even saying Dominic Cruz has a higher chance than McGregor. I really don't know. But we also just saw McGregor gas out. So it's one of those things. If Dominic Cruz can
Well,
keep
that
it
was at
moving,
170.
Yeah.
That's 25 pounds
ate up to
heavier.
that.
He was not prepared
And
for.
he also fought a guy who fights to gas people out. If you look at the Diaz brothers, they fight to say, you can't gas me out. That's,
you're
But
gonna-
anyway,
you're gonna say
no one
DC
can
doesn't
gas
do
those
that at
people
all?
out.
no, I'm not
Oh,
disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that's how he fought someone at a higher weight that goes, okay,
So my
I'm
other
going to gas
theory
you out.
is Aldo fights Dominic Cruz. Aldo
That'd be
can
interesting.
tire. I think Aldo can slow him down because he'll just leg kick the shit out of him, and Aldo won't fucking push any
Aldo
pressure
plays
on Dominic
tight.
Cruz.
Depends on
And
which
Dominic
Aldo
Cruz
comes
is a
out,
counter. Jose Aldo's a counter. I was like, that's probably going to be a boring fight. He's just going to
But
try a leg kick him.
Here's
and
one
slow him
interesting
down.
thing. Jose Aldo only threw like 10 leg kicks.
Because
against
that
Mike
was a
Diego.
brilliant
No, it was a
plan
great
versus
play.
Frankie.
I'm just saying, do we see the Jose Aldo that throws all those leg kicks, or do we see the Jose Aldo that goes, I'm going to
Because-
win by just tagging you in the face a few times again?
Well, that's
the
how-
interesting
his,
fight.
His whole strategy is, for every fight he's ever done, is the leg kicks, heavy
Yeah.
leg kicks with the counter. That's what Jose Aldo does. He's like
They were-
Anderson Silva. It'll be a boring fight unless the guy pressures him.
They were talking about
I don't
how,
think it's boring to us. I think it's boring to other people, though. Like Jose Aldo,
Even though
Dominic Cruz.
When I first watched the fight, I was a little disappointed because Frankie Edgar, fucking hype, just knocked out fucking Chad Mendez.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this would be fucking amazing.
The best
And then when
Frankie we've ever seen.
and then you're fucking a beer too deep. You got some fucking wings and shit, and you're like, But then you look back at it, I was like, you know what? It
Frankie
was
Edgar's
really
just
interesting to
not
break it down.
big enough to really... And he's just a little bit slower than Jose Aldo. He's just a
Aldo-
little
Aldo's
bit behind
fucking-
Aldo. On
This
his
is
way.
why I say that Aldo wasn't winning 30 seconds of a fucking round. He threw Frankie Edgar like he was a child.
He did
Yeah.
toss him. I
It
will
was
give you that.
it was one of those things where I was like, maybe Aldo's on something because I don't know anybody who could chuck a man like that.
I think
Unless
there's- I
Raz
think-
comes at you, you can chuck Raz like that. There's a big fucking weight
Aldo
difference there.
needed to win that because his whole camp, Nova Uniao, has
Yeah.
been losing like crazy ever
Since
They've been
since
getting
Usana
question
came
and question
around.
and
Everyone
question.
put their hand over their mouth.
Oh,
when
can we just say
Brazilians
Joanna
are on
won?
steroids.
Yeah, Joanna
Joanna,
beat
oh.
Claudia.
Love of my
Yeah,
life.
that was a.
Joanna, if you're listening to this,
Claudia's so big. Back the fuck off.
Joanna
She
is
could
bad.
literally lose 20 fights.
You know what my
back to
favorite
back
thing
to
about
back.
Joanna is she talks shit in broken English. It's just the worst English, and it's so amazing.
Everything on top, no, because everything on top was like embarrassing the shit she was saying. Claudia was just like, well, we'll see, right? And she was just like,
and then Joanna,
fuck you, I hate you.
And then try to beat the fuck out of her.
Claudia,
Oh,
like,
you know
kicked
what's
her in the
made me
head.
more mad than anything else is that Michael fucking Bisping is fighting Henderson for the belt. I was like, this is the worst matchup ever. I don't want to see this.
There's only one good thing.
Henderson does not deserve this.
There's one good thing that
No,
can
he
come out of
doesn't.
this.
But I want to see it.
I want to see this
Why?
fight. One, it'll
I
be
know.
entertaining, but two, let's say
You're
Dan
gonna
Henderson
skip
wins.
over Jacare for fucking Henderson.
Let's say Dan
That
Henderson
is literally
wins.
like nobody gives a
Dan
shit
Henderson
about it.
wins. He's gonna retire. Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold, Jacare, Michael Bisping for a title eliminator. Those would be like two number one contenders, and then you get winner of those fights.
I wanted GSP to fight Bisping for the middleweight title.
Oh, same.
That
wanted
would have
to see
been a
it.
way better fight. Way
GSP
better fight.
is
But
not
do
coming
you-
back.
Do you think if
GSP.
Luke Rockhold wins that fight against Bisping, GSP's coming back to fight for that title?
No shot.
Why does everybody
No shot.
just
GSP 's not
magically
going-
think GSP is coming back?
No, no, but no,
I
no.
don't
He's
think-
saying
I don't
Where
think-
is this? Where is the blood in the water that
No,
you're
no, I'm
all
saying-
so frenzied about GSP coming back?
no, no. What
I
Andrew's
love
saying is like,
GSP.
would GSP have even said anything if Luke Rockhold had won that fight?
I think
Because GSP kind of was like, oh, Michael Bisping won, maybe I'll
I
come
don't
back.
know if he would have,
Maybe
because
I'll-
Luke Rockhold's so much bigger than GSP.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Luke Rockhold, other than Chris Weidman, dwarfs everyone in the middleweight division.
It's crazy.
Like, I still think Michael Bisping knocking him out is probably the biggest upset.
You know, it's one of...
He looked
like every time
so
there's been an
disinterested
upset
with that
that
fight. He looked so disinterested when he was in that fight.
I think that and the Holly Holm fight was around there the two biggest upsets of all
Here's
time.
why-
No,
Here's
I
I
was
still
all
got-
about that Holm. I was like,
Here's why I still got the
Holm
Matt
is
Serra.
not that good of a fighter. Drives me nuts.
It was just
She's a great.
She's a perfect nemesis for
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey's
matchup,
style.
everything.
But every other fight, she looks like fucking shit.
She tried
She
to
looks like
outstrike
shit
Holly.
with Misha Tate.
You don't.
I'll give Holly Holm
No,
the fact that
Holm-
she's a fucking gangster. Holly Holm's a fucking gangster, and I have all the respect for her. But her skill level is not fucking
You know why
there.
Holm beat her in that fight?
Because she tried to strike with her.
No, Holm beat her in the clinch. Rewatch
Yeah,
that
the
fight.
clinch.
Every time in the clinch, she
really fucked
outdid
her up in the
Ronda.
clinch.
It was Faraz Sahabi did a breakdown on it. It's a beautiful fucking breakdown. She beat fucking Ronda in the clinch. That's why. And even when she went down, got right the fuck back up. She beat her in the clinch, which was ridiculous.
Here's my thing with the Michael Bisping being upset. It's a very big upset.
It is a big.
But if
upset.
you look at Luke Rockhold, he is not only disinterested, his hands are down. He didn't fight well.
He didn't respect Bisping at
Exactly,
all.
but that's his fault. This is like the whole, this is a Chris Weidman versus Anderson. Like, you know, he clowned around. But I still gotta go with the whole Matt Serra fucking GSP, because GSP wasn't dicking around when he fought Matt Serra. Like, Anderson Silva,
Matt
as much
Serra's
as,
just a motherfucker.
you know, Anderson Silva was dicking around. Luke Rockhold was, I don't think he was
Anderson
dicking around.
Silva always dicks around.
No, but I'm saying,
Towards
it's the
the
same
end.
thing. Like, Luke Rockhold, he didn't respect him. His hands are here, his chin is up. Joe Rogan said 3 times in that fight, Luke Rockhold's chin is just up in the air. Like, it wasn't like no one knew that Luke Rockhold didn't give a shit
I
about
don't think
Michael
he respected
Bisping.
Bisping's power, because let's
He
be
didn't.
honest,
He
when
didn't.
Who does?
Bisping ever one punch knocked out
But I mean, at
anyone?
the same time, he's got the most significant strikes in UFC history, and you're not going to respect that? Most
mean, the
significant
way-
strikes
the
in
way-
UFC history. You have to respect that.
That's a lot of smugness on
Well,
Luke Rockhold's
well,
part.
think
Yeah.
of how Luke Rockhold beat him the first time. He like toyed with him and then
He
choked him the
killed him
fuck
with
out.
fucking one arm.
And you're playing.
That's so hard, a one-arm guillotine.
Right.
So fucking hard.
Right.
Yeah, the Dan Henderson things are going to be interesting, though, because, like, if
Dan
Dan Henderson
wins,
knocks
I'm
him
gonna
the
be so
fuck out,
upset.
I'm going to be
be
upset,
so
but
happy.
so happy because...
see that
I
H-bomb
like
again.
Dan Henderson, but I'll just be like, it's not deserved.
Because
Bisping's the
here's the
easiest
thing.
fight for a
If-
title there is.
If
Like,
Dan Henderson loses, it kind of kills the whole
because
greatest
tell me, if
knockout
Dan Henderson
ever.
fought Chris Weidman for the title, ends first round, Weidman debacles him like nothing
Yeah.
before.
Oh, I
Jesus.
think
Just
even
ground and
Jacare.
pounds
I
him
think same
through
thing.
the canvas.
I think Jacare beats him in the first 2 rounds. I think Chris Weidman beats him in the first 2
I
rounds.
think a lot of people beat Bisping.
Yeah,
I want to see the fact that he lost that fight. Y'all, bullshit.
that was bullshit. That was
Bullshit.
such bullshit.
Bullshit. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's just homeboys on the side, like,
Everybody
I
was
guess
talking
Dan
about how
Henderson.
Dan Henderson should have retired, knocked out Hector Lombard. He gets a fucking title
But that was
shot.
a great fucking fight. No, he doesn't deserve a title shot, but that was a great
Hector
fucking
Lombard was coming off a loss too to Neil Magny, so I don't know what's so fucking
And he
impressive about that.
And he got debacled by Neil Magny. That was one of the most brutal fucking beatdowns I've ever seen. Neil Magny.
No, the
ref-
most brutal
ref was just
beatdown is
watching
Luke
him.
Rockhold
No.
beating down Chris
No,
Weidman.
no, but the Neil
That's
Magny
okay.
one was as bad. The
That's
Neil Magny beatdown.
I've
savage.
seen a
True.
lot of fans, which kills me because that's not how I saw the fight, so I'm curious. A lot of the fans, big Weidman fans, are like, "Oh, you were starting to build up momentum before it all went downhill, Weidman." Yada yada. yada.
He wasn't building momentum, but he was winning before the fucking wheel kick, and he was winning the fight. He was up
And
around.
the father,
he was-
and of the Sarah, and of the Ray Lago.
No, he was okay. It was
I
at
love
least tied
Weidman,
1-1.
and he's the best, but he was not winning.
It was at
I
least tied
didn't see
1-1
him as
before the
winning.
wheel kick.
But that he sat on his. I'm not saying it is exceedingly difficult to sit on a man's back for 5 minutes.
I just want to say
Weidman.
Weidman's the toughest fighter in the UFC because he
Who's
did
getting
not get discouraged from that beatdown.
He honestly
No.
should have too. I mean, he got fucked
Like,
up.
you had to take him out in a body bag.
No,
He's
I don't
a
know, though.
gangster.
The
Him
Neil
and Holly
Magny-
Holm are gangsters.
the
Like,
Neil-
you body
Getting choked
bag.
out.
The Neil Magny Hector Lombard one though, that was pretty brutal because Neil Magny's not that big of a guy. It's not like Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman. They're like this. Neil Magny is way smaller than Hector Lombard, and he was beating him the fuck up.
And Hector Lombard was fighting at welterweight. That was his first
Yeah.
middleweight fight in how long?
Yeah.
I was
I
just
thought
like,
he was a smaller fighter.
I don't even know. I was like, you know what? Whatever. That's like fucking the welterweight division. I was like, who's getting the title shot next? Because everybody deserves it except Tyron Woodley.
The only reason he deserves it is because Johnny Hendricks is like, I'm going to miss weight. And then they're like, okay, well, now we have to give fucking Tyrone the fight.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is way better fighter than Tyron Woodley. Deserves it more.
But he didn't do that shit.
Damian Maia really deserves it a lot. And now he's fighting Carlos Condit. If he beats Carlos Condit, how do you tell him he doesn't have the fucking title shot?
I mean, he's Carlos Condit. I like Maia.
I mean,
Damian
Maia.
Fucking love jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu is clean. It's beautiful.
I don't think he can beat Condit, though.
But if he beats Condit, I will probably cry.
Has a good enough ground game to get back up.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think it'll be like when Damian Maia fought Rory McDonald, and it was just kind of like a lot of non-action on the... Well, I shouldn't say non-action, but a lot of 50-50 chances on the ground where he wasn't really mounting... Like, Damian Maia usually mounts, takes the backs, choke him out, or mounts, suffocates them. You know, he's not going to be able to do that to Carlos Condit. And on the feet, Carlos is going to beat the shit out of him.
Here's the thing. Okay, if I say welterweight, who's the second best jiu-jitsu guy in welterweight? Probably Gunnar Nelson, right? Just jiu-jitsu?
Just jiu-jitsu?
And he got destroyed by Damian Maia on the ground.
Well, that's how you see the difference
has
of
gotten
jiu-jitsu.
so impressive lately. Damian Maia lately, I mean, it's crazy. He's gotten better.
I don't think he's gotten better. I think the difference is he was a middleweight who was kind of on the smallish side. Welterweight, he can bully them to the ground. Like, middleweight, the problem was he couldn't get them to the ground that easily.
At will. He couldn't do it
welterweight, he can do it at will.
His takedowns
because he's one of the bigger ones.
His takedowns are okay, maybe good, but I've never been like, wow, Damian Maia.
No, his takedowns aren't incredible.
Okay, it's just one of those things where like gets a leg and then it's a struggle.
Can no one else say their mind was blown when Kevin Gastelum beat Johnny Hendricks? I was like, what's going on with Johnny Hendricks? I was like, everybody thought he was going to replace GSP.
He just looked sad every time like that fight. He just looked like he was disinterested the entire time.
I was like, I thought Johnny Hendricks was going to be the next welterweight championship reign after GSP.
I was totally ready to hop on the big rig. Fucking nut hug wagon. I was all about that. Knockouts. And then he was just like,
it just doesn't look that good anymore.
Yeah, welterweight's honestly, I think it's one of the best divisions because, like,
I think it's the best.
I can't, because everyone deserves a title shot right now. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's like lightweight, everyone deserves.
Yeah, lightweight's crazy too right now.
I mean, Anthony Pettis got on a streak, losing streak.
How did that happen?
That's
just confusing.
Division. And Eddie Alvarez, the champion. The fucking, now, the guy from Bellator just beat Ross Pearson. So now he's in the lightweight division. I was like, it's a tough fucking division.
Talking about Bellator. So, as far as I'm aware, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. UFC, if you get into a fight, something gets hurt, you go to the hospital, go to the doctor, whatever, they pay for it, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Bellator, with the fucking gnarly knee that destroyed fucking...
Michael Page.
Michael just fucking destroyed his skull.
He fractured his forehead.
Yeah, MVP destroyed
Bellator paid for that. So I think Bellator stepping their shit up also helps hope of the Fighters Union, because it's one of those things where UFC can't be like, well, you know, we do this for you guys. Like, yeah, Bellator does that too. It's not one of those things that just happens. It's expected.
That's a good arguing point.
Yeah, right?
I think the fact that Bellator is there is the strongest fight for the fighters. If they made a fighters union, Bellator is one of their biggest supports because they can go, oh, UFC, you don't do this shit for me, but look where they do. Right over there.
I don't think it's so much that Bellator exists, but I think that Bellator is now stepping their shit up.
Yeah.
The more Bellator gets their shit together and becomes closer on point to where you would want to be an employee with Bellator, then it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you know, maybe I'll lose out on a little bit of money, but also, you know, I'm getting all this shit.
But I mean, look at Ben Henderson. He's making way more money, and he goes, okay, yeah, I'm not the world champion, but maybe if I get Bellator champion, I'm making way more money. I might be happy with that.
Well, did I read Rory McDonald like Kevin talks about?
There's rumors because his contract's up after the next fight. I think he has one more fight on his contract.
No.
That was his last fight.
I think I talked about this in the last podcast, but he fucked himself by talking about his nose and being like, yeah, I think I need surgery. I don't really know what the plan is, yada, yada. So now you look at him and you go, okay, fighter with a fucked up nose, not sure what his next step is. If he was just like, nah, you know, my nose is fine, I'm going to get surgery, it'll be fine after that, then it's like, okay, we have a fighter who's going to get surgery and then be fucking top shelf. And now he's like, you know, breaks every fight. It broke 2 times in training camp. I don't really know what the plan is. Maybe it's surgery. Maybe I don't fucking know. Now it's like, well, now we've got a big fucking question mark. every time he gets into a fight, he breaks his nose. That causes him problems. It's a fucking issue, and you have to take care of it every fight, etc., etc. It's just not what you want for contract negotiations.
You know what I want to talk about? UFC 205, Madison Square Garden.
Hey.
What's that card? I think that card's going to be the real UFC 200.
I don't care what the card is, because as soon as the tickets go on sale...
Should we get early
I'm
tickets
buying
since
tickets.
since
I
Fight
think we
Pass?
might. I think we might get... we're literally buying tickets. Like, I don't care how
I'm
much
buying
I don't
tickets.
care how much it costs.
Yeah.
I
How
do
is it?
care how much it costs,
What?
but I want
When
to.
is it?
November something? Do you know
Yeah.
what it is?
I'm sorry.
It's in November.
Sounds like that we're going for my birthday.
Yeah, we
I mean,
are.
but no one likes you when you're 23.
But it's UFC 205.
Alright.
That's all that
Fair enough.
matters.
Okay.
Just a little Blink-182
I like that,
reference.
though.
Wyman's on the card. McGregor's on the card. I want Ronda Rousey to be on
Jon
card.
Jones
be the
fucked
real-
up because Jon Jones should have been on the card, but yeah.
Jon Jones.
Your fucking second biggest
Ally
first biggest New
Quinto,
York guy.
Aljamain
Yeah.
Sterling.
You gotta put,
Gianni
you gotta put, I think you gotta put all of Sarah Longo on the card at this point because, like, they're all still in a good. No one is really in a. Yeah, Aljamain lost to fucking
We'll have McGregor beat
Misha,
Aldo again
Misha Tate's
there.
boyfriend. I don't even care
Ronda
about his name.
Rousey.
Daniel
I know,
Win the
I know his
title
name.
back.
I know his name. I don't give a shit about him.
Fuck that guy.
And then I think you just gotta put all of the Sarah Longo fighters on, and then you gotta get the Ronda Rousey, the Conor McGregor.
Fighting Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
And then she'll beat the shit out of her and beat Champ again.
I
McGregor will
just
beat
watched,
Aldo again.
Out of
press
nowhere,
conference.
Ronda
Joanna
Rousey.
wants to fight in New York too.
Yeah, Joanna wants to fight. I think what's interesting
I
about the
would be
Ronda
on
Rousey.
that card.
Here's the Ronda Rousey Amanda Nunes thing: is Amanda Nunes starts so fast, and Ronda Rousey's going to be super complacent after losing. So I think that's how Ronda Rousey wins. Is she's just going to be like, okay, tire yourself out.
You can't
and
out
then takes her-
aggression Ronda Rousey.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm
I
saying.
was like,
Amanda Nunes isn't.
I was
She's
like,
going to
you
go
will
out
get
so
out
hard.
aggressed.
Amanda Nunes always goes out so hard. I feel like she's going to tire out. Ronda's just going to have her way with her on the ground the rest of the round.
That's
As
another,
long as she
yeah. I
gets
mean,
it to
that's
the round.
that's what people say. It's like you try to knock out someone in the first round, you're going to have a harder time winning the decision.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if
You're
you
gonna
look
have
at
a
the
bad
Amanda
fight.
Nunes, if Amanda Nunes doesn't knock out Misha Tate in that first round, I don't think she's gonna be tired as fuck. I don't think she wins that fight, but she got the knockout. Someone, Ronda Rousey, like, yeah, Holly Holm fucking beat the shit out of her. I don't know if Amanda Nunes can copy that shit.
No, because Holly Holm, literally everything about Holly Holm.
It's just the perfect matchup.
Yeah.
Well, she's fighting tonight. Against
Yeah,
Shevchenko.
I just got the notifications for that. Apparently, the main card started.
Oh, it just started?
Oh, no. Okay, she fought. 30 minutes ago, Valentina beat Holly Holm.
Valentina
Told you.
by
Told you.
unanimous decision.
Told you. Overrated Holly Holm. Hugely overrated.
Off.
Most overrated fighter in the
No,
UFC.
not the most overrated fighter, because she's not
Most
that fucking rated to begin with. You're the only one who's like, Holly Holm is this great fucking fighter that everyone thinks is amazing. Holly Holm, good fighter. Like Holly Holm. Beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey.
So
She
you're
was
saying
super
nobody
fucking cool.
thinks Holly Holm's good?
I'm not saying no one thinks Holly Holmes is good, but
Because
I'm
she
not
just
saying
got a main event card.
I'm not saying that
She's just
everybody.
the main event
I'm
of the
not saying
card.
that everyone thinks Holly Holm is as good as you somehow think people think she
Yes,
is.
they do. Everybody was like, "Oh, she knocked out Ronda, one of the best female fighters of all time." Blah 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 blah.
You're giving me AIDS. Not even cancer. It's AIDS. It's gonna kill me slowly. I'll survive. I'll survive on fucking medication until the day I die.
I was like,
Complications.
well,
Fucking
nobody
your
thinks
flu.
she's good. She just got a main event slot.
Is that really
I don't know.
Is that really
It's
the
That's
hardest?
usually where
Well,
they
I
put
mean,
our
is
shitty
that-
fighters.
Is that really the
Gilbert
hardest thing in the
Melendez
world
got
to do?
popped like last fight, and then they're like, "Nah, main event.
Wait,
fine. It doesn't matter."
Are we watching that card right now?
What
Do we
card?
watch every main event fucking card? Is every main event the fight of the fucking year? No! Shut the fuck up!
They
Holy
put fighters
shit.
that they think are good in the main event.
Yes, and Holly Holm is a good fighter, but she's not
No,
this
she's
god.
not.
She's a good fighter. She's not this god tier fighter you think people make her out to be. It's like you literally like think you walk around the block and like, oh, look at all these Holm shirts. I've never seen anybody anywhere who's random be like, Holm, really great. Have you seen her Ronda Rousey fight? Never fucking seen
Yes,
that.
they do.
I've never
People
seen
talk
that.
about Holly Holm
I've
knocking
never
out Ronda
seen that.
Rousey all the time.
Never seen that. I've never. I still hear
You've
more.
never
shit.
seen
I
people
still-
talk about-
I still hear more shit about Ronda Rousey.
How many
who
UFC
has
fans
that
do you meet on the street?
People, a
you.
couple of the guys that work. Fuck off. Fuck off. No,
Me and the
no,
guys
no, fuck
shoot
off.
the shit all the time,
all
Rich.
3 people I've ever talked to about this topic.
Oh.
What are your opinions on Holly Holm? I need it for my podcast. Who's that? Good enough.
You're probably right.
I mean, I don't even know why we talk about 135 because I mean, Joanna's just the best. She's just
At 115.
In general, the best woman. She's the best woman. No, I'm saying, what are we talking
She
about?
says that Ronda would maul her.
If she went up to, yeah, but I'm saying the 135 fighters, they all lose to each
She's
other.
Yeah, I'd probably say the
just
same of Cain
fucks
Velasquez. Because he's bigger.
No, I'm just saying.
There's
I'm
also
saying,
a big difference between
I'm
the
saying
fact
everyone-
he's not a professional fighter with the title.
I'm saying
looked
everyone at
good. You don't know
135, everyone at 135, all the women just lose to each other. Joanna dominates. Like, I think she's the best.
Yo, her beating Claudia, there's no hope for the division now. Claudia was the last time. Claudia was
Rose has a
Rose?
has a
Rose?
shot of
No.
has a shot of
No.
getting a title
I'm
shot.
What did
over
you
this
smoke
convo.
before you got on
Did
here?
you watch
'Cause what did we
Rose's
say about
last fight?
selling?
It was not impressive at all. You know what? You know what, Chris? This is going to be on YouTube, right? We're going to look back at this when Joanna rapes
Oh, no.
and Rose is clawing at the cage, looking at Pat Barry, and then nothing Pat Barry could do.
I
And
still
Joanna
think-
takes out a fucking dildo,
I think-
raping her.
I-
And her team doesn't
we're
fucking
going
stop
down a
it.
dark tunnel, sir.
No, I still think Joanna wins. I'm just saying she has a chance of being a decent fight.
If you can watch Luke Rockhold beat the shit out of Chris Weidman for 2 rounds, we can watch Joanna rape Rose. With
I mean,
a
no.
dildo.
I'm saying I think Joanna
That's
still
what
wins.
it's okay.
Wow.
Kieran, you signed up for this.
I think
You
Joanna
will watch
still
Get
wins.
over here.
I think Joanna still wins. I just think it's someone who could fight competitive. You know, I don't think it's like a terrible rape as you're making it.
How
Yeah.
much did you smoke before you got on?
You know what I find funny is that the
yes,
Weidman
man.
fight went on for so long, and then McGregor popped Mendez in the face once, and he stopped.
I think
the
that
fight.
might be the saddest I've ever been.
Oh,
Like,
it's not
watching
like
Weidman
he's-
lose is top
Like,
5
I don't think
saddest
Chad
I've ever
Mendez
been.
was coming back, but
He was
That
going to
was pretty
survive that
quick
round.
stop.
He was going to survive that round. That's all I have to say about that fight. Oh, wait, what was it? 9 seconds left. 9 seconds left. By the time he got to his feet and put his hands up, you're going to tell me McGregor was just going to ninja fucking
The
dump
Chad
him.
Mendez fight?
Yeah,
Maybe-
Chad Mendez was going to survive
Chad
that
maybe
round.
if
Mendez
they
was
popped another
fine.
syringe in him in between the rounds, he's coming back.
Wait, what was my statement? He was going to make it through the round. 9 more fucking seconds.
Chad Mendez
That's
was
all I'm
fine for
arguing.
9 seconds and then immediately in the next round, immediately knocked out.
Immediately
knocked out.
decapitated.
Immediately knocked out, or he shot.
No, a
Scott
spinning heel
fucking
kick
takedown.
would have hit him in the face. His head would have popped off, going in the first.
Wait, question.
Into Jose
Dos
Aldo's
Anjos,
lap.
Eddie Alvarez.
What?
Dos Anjos, Eddie Alvarez. Does
Did not see
anyone
that coming.
think that was an early stoppage?
No.
What?
No. I read some YouTube
That's a
comments.
beating.
No. That's what I thought.
I was so
That's what I
incredibly
thought.
confused during that fight. I was like, what's happening?
I read some YouTube and other
I-
shit of people like, well, he was still standing, and I was like, yeah, he got saved from a bad fucking concussion he was
He
about to
already
catch.
had like 3
Yeah.
concussions. We didn't need to give him 8
It
more.
was-
How many more
I
does he need?
thought-
Like him to like just like make his
I
legs go
thought we
limp
were
and then him
watching
go,
like a
dragging his
gangster
face on the
movie
ground?
where they just beat the guy to death.
I mean-
I thought that's what I was
Open
watching.
your mouth.
I read
Like,
some
not
around
sure
the
if The
concrete.
Godfather.
That was my
or
thing,
he
and then
should-
I read a few things of people like, oh, that was an early stoppage, and I was like, they can't,
Nah.
no one
You
can
can't
think
call
that.
an
And I
early
was like,
stoppage just because
I
the
was like,
guy's
they
on
can't.
his
No,
feet.
that's what I was like. I was like, there's no way that was an early stoppage, right? Like, you can't possibly.
Especially because if it was even remotely an early stoppage, you know the other fighter's going to bitch about it.
Yeah.
Dos Anjos was
He
like,
took
I
it.
was dying. I wanted that to be stopped
Well, it
like
wasn't
8
like-
punches ago.
I mean, it wasn't like he just got through once. Like he
No,
started
I'm-
trailing back,
oh,
and he
absolutely.
continued
I
pounding him on
I
the cage.
100% agree. It was just one of those things
still
where I
talking
saw.
about
I
UFC,
didn't know if anyone thought.
I was pretty surprised by that
Yeah,
fight.
Herb
I
Dean
thought
was in
Eddie
there.
Alvarez could win, but Dos
not
Anjos
see
has
it.
been looking so
That
good.
looked like the Dos Anjos
I
versus
call-
Cerrone
I-
fight, but the opposite.
I called
Right.
RDA to win that. I called RDA to win that.
But didn't it look like the beatdown
So did
RDA put
I.
on Cerrone, but Eddie Alvarez put it on RDA.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
I want
how it was
McGregor
that
to fight
brutal.
Alvarez now. I was like, that's a good fight for McGregor.
It'll be a slugfest.
Unless Alvarez tries to grind him out. Before
He
RDA,
does
he
do
was
that.
trying to grinded out Anthony Pettis. But if he stands like that and puts all his because he gambled to put all of his power into his punches with RDA. That was like he was putting everything he had into that. I was like, you do that with
150
I
McGregor.
mean, they were
Smart.
landing though.
Did any of you guys watch the Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan fight companion?
No.
Jesus fucking
Watch
Christ.
You have to watch. It's like an 8-minute video of Coco.
It's the
of
best.
Coco on
It's
it.
the
We'll
best.
watch it after the podcast.
He's one of my
He's
favorite
talking
people.
about. He's like Mark Henry's. He's a fucking pizza guy from New Jersey.
Where you at, Conor
Where you at,
McGregor?
Conor?
Where the fuck are you? You better be packing 2 fucking sandwiches while you're coming to fight these guys.
You know what I'm
Fuck
sad
your
about?
machines.
We will never, ever see Frankie Edgar fight Conor McGregor. That fight
I-
will never happen.
It's
It will
the
never
best
happen.
matchup too.
It'll
That's what
never
makes me so sad. Is
I didn't need to see that fight.
because you don't want to watch Conor McGregor
Yeah,
lose.
because you fucking almost died when Conor McGregor lost to Nate
Because
Diaz.
you don't want to watch Conor McGregor get ground the fuck out for 5 rounds.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. Well, you know
Why-
what?
why is he
he's
ducking
gonna
my
get
boy
the shit
Frankie?
kicked out of Frankie. You know what? Let's watch McGregor fight Aldo, and then let's watch Frankie Edgar. fight Aldo.
No. You can't pull his bullshit
You can't
every
do
fucking
MMA
time.
math
I
every
can't.
time.
It doesn't.
Not
no,
every
no.
time.
You can't be like, he knocked him out early. It was like a 1 in like an 8 bajillion fucking chance. I'm not saying Aldo would have fucking won that fight, but you can't pull that bullshit. Well, he got the early knockout. Ergo, there's no way Frank Edgar would have any fucking chance at all.
Josh, they had to resuscitate Aldo. He died.
Well,
He was literally leaned all the way forward with all of his weight
died.
forward.
well, Conor McGregor beat Jose Aldo, and Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor. So Nate
Okay,
Diaz is going to be the next featherweight
Which-
Josh,
champion.
I'm
No, you're
not
right.
sure if you had a pipe, you could have knocked Aldo out like that.
I really hope, not even for Aldo, not even because I hate McGregor, I hope Aldo fucking rapes McGregor.
Just
and
so
I
you're
literally
wrong.
just want to look
Just
him
so
in the
you're
eyes. No,
wrong.
I want to look you in the eyes, and I want to watch you die. This is what I need to watch. And the next podcast, you're just going to be like, yeah, McGregor, he's a good fighter. I really enjoy his fights. Except for the last one. He keeps me playing in my head over and over. I want it to happen.
I would like to see that fight.
I
though.
would literally, I would literally tell Aldo if he won that fight, I'm like, hey man, you can cut my fucking balls off. Because I got enough satisfaction out of that. I will never need kids. It's fine, bro. It's fine. All I fucking need from him is just 25 minutes of absolute fucking rape to the point where Conor McGregor's ACL and MCL will both be torn and he'll be crawling on the floor at the end of the fight. That's what I need. And I don't want Aldo to finish it.
That tells
I
you
never
real
want
fans,
Aldo to
man.
finish it.
Oh my, okay.
I
That's
think,
how you really
I think
feel,
Diaz,
Well, we got to start talking about McGregor's Josh.
It's
Not
ridiculous.
okay.
Diaz McGregor 2 is going to be a fucking fight.
Oh,
McGregor's already pissing me off with that.
that's
Aw.
my favorite card
He
this
needs
year
this
so
fight.
far.
That's why Nate wants this fight, because he
says-
thinks it's the easy win. He
I
won't
love
take
how he's
any
talking
other.
shit.
Is that what
I was like,
McGregor's
didn't
saying?
you
He
try
says
to
it-
take him down?
He says it the fucking every fight.
I know. That's one of those things he's talking about. She was like, didn't you try to
Just
take
draw
Nate
my
Diaz
cable.
down? Didn't that happen?
Well, it's
He was rocked.
you're gonna have Diaz, who's I hope comes out against like the same way he fought Michael Johnson,
That was a great
Michael
fight.
Johnson.
which he absolutely.
I just hope that Diaz actually trains and doesn't come off a fucking party boat where he's probably smoking his fucking brains out. I mean,
doesn't-
he's probably going to smoke his brains out regardless.
They
but-
both do it all the time, though. But when like you have like people who just like have brothers who just like swim to Alcatraz and back when it's not supposed to be designed where you can just swim to Alcatraz and back, and you have just cardio for fucking days. That you can just do that when you're not on 9 days' notice or how long it was, and then you have McGregor, who Coach Kavanaugh saying, "Oh, I have a military-style training regimen."
I was like, that's great, that's cool. What that
Okay.
means?
I just want to.
But also Diaz is fighting, like like all those boxers that are world heavyweight like class. Yeah, he's fighting them for
He
sparring.
fights with fucking. Isn't it Amir Khan he fights with?
No.
Who is it?
No, you stupid man.
Fuck, what? Who is it? He fights with one of the fucking boxers.
And they say that he's like one of the best sparring partners
Oh,
ever.
Andre Ward.
Andre
Yes,
Ward.
yes,
he says
yes,
he's never
yes.
not. He said Andre Ward says he can't do jack shit against them.
They have fucking like scar tissue built up all over their face. They don't fucking give a
Oh
fuck
yeah,
what
it's
they
really
say.
bad, especially on Nick Diaz. You can see it. The
He
scar
cuts every
tissue.
fight. He gets cut immediately.
I can't wait for Nick to come back. It's only like
I,
what?
no, I really wouldn't care.
He
either
doesn't
way.
like the Diaz brothers because I don't know.
Honestly,
I
though,
know,
lately,
it's not-
okay,
They're
besides that he's
alright,
been suspended,
they're
but
alright.
what has Nick done in his the Anderson Silva fight?
Nothing, but I still love the
Nothing.
Diaz brothers.
You know, it's entertainment, but it's not a great for like yeah, he laid down. But can you tell me anything else that happened in that fight besides the fact that Nick Diaz laid down for?
Oh, can we talk about Anderson Silva and Daniel Cormier? I was so
Oh my
disappointed.
God.
Daniel
I
Cormier
mean,
is just...
what you expect to happen?
I mean,
And
you didn't
He
win
called. Chris called it like 5 days prior before the fight even started. Oh, I can't wait to see Daniel Cormier lay on Anderson Silva for
What
the
was
entire
DC
round.
gonna do? Like,
You
DC
can't
doesn't-
blame him, but at the same
DC's
time,
not gonna ground and pound the shit out of Anderson Silva. No one wants to do that.
Do you know how underappreciated Daniel Cormier? Think of his resume of the people he's beaten, and the fact he's only lost to Jon Jones.
you know why? Because he acts like a bitch.
You gonna act like a bitch.
He does. He just does. That's why people can't get into it. Like Jon Jones is like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up. And Daniel Cormier's like,
Fuck me up, Jon Jones. Fuck me up. Is that what you're gonna do?
You know,
And
you
just the way
drugs,
he grinded
and
out Anderson Silva, it wasn't even like dominant on top. Like
No, he
was
wasn't.
just locked down by Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Wait,
man to have on
He
top
should have
of you,
been. They
right?
should have been
He
stood
was
up a
stuck
few
in
more
half
times.
guard.
But wait, realistically, was he locked down by Anderson Silva, or did he not want to beat
I
the
think
shit
it was
out of
both.
Anderson
I
Silva?
think
You don't want to stand
He
up
didn't
with
get
Anderson
any
Silva
heavy
anyway.
punches on Anderson.
Did he really want to?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but
It's just one of those Anderson Silva. He's a fucking
That
legend.
kick
He's
at the end,
picking up
though.
the fight.
that body
Yes.
kick. If that was a 5-round fight, that's an interesting fight because he
That's
heard
what
it.
made me mad because I was like, I don't want to see this 3 rounds. It's like you need a 5-round fight for this.
I think they didn't make it 5 rounds though, specifically because they go, no one wants to watch 5 rounds of DC laying on him.
Good point.
I
3
think that
rounds
would've
was
been-
hard enough. No,
that
but
would've
I
been
think
more chances for Anderson.
I think Anderson, if it's a 5-round fight, Anderson has a better chance. But at the same time, if you're the UFC, you're going, okay, we already have 2 5-round fights on this card. Are we really about to add a third one? And one of them's going to be a guy lying on another guy for 25 straight minutes.
That's
How
true.
many pounds did Cormier have on Anderson in that fight?
At the
Probably
weigh-in,
a lot.
I think it was 7.
Which is
Seemed
what Anderson Silva walks around at and what Daniel Cormier is
Cut
not.
to.
Yeah,
he
cut
fucking
to.
Cut to.
That dude's
So-
a fucking.
Oh, how
Burly
impressive was
ass.
Cain Velasquez? Holy shit, he
That was
rocked
very
Travis
good.
Brown.
The only thing that bothered me was as he was grounding and pounding, like, he looked back, like, he toned his ground and pound down. I understand you don't want to fucking straight maul somebody, but he, like, beating the shit out of him and kind of, like, looking at the ref was like, I mean, you know, you could still do a little bit more. I mean, you know, you could earn the TKO a little harder. I know you don't want to just hurt a man for no reason, but...
The heavyweight division is interesting now because what happens when after Stipe beats Alistair Overeem? Who gets that title shot?
You calling that already?
You got Stipe's gonna rock him.
You know,
Stipe's
Stipe's the
my
better
boy.
fighter, but, I mean, what if Alistair just fucking...
It
That
depends.
steroid punch right from the hip, man.
Uber.
Well, that's with the heavyweight division in general. Like anybody can get knocked out. You know, like
Yeah,
everybody
I mean-
saw Cain Velasquez was gonna go like undefeated, and then Dos Santos knocked him out in like 5 seconds.
And
Santos
then
is his
Kane
kid.
came back.
And then Verdum got knocked out by
By
Stipe,
Stipe.
who was moving backwards,
Yeah.
which is fucking gangster. That was
That was
He's like-
literally like the da-da-da-da-da, like,
Yeah.
cue it right now.
I think like Stipe looks like the most lethal like father of 4.
That's a great way to describe it.
Can that be the quote for the most lethal father?
Watch Bear Cave MMA. Find out our opinion on the most lethal father.
He had the best week. He won the belt, and then he got best month, I should say. He
Yeah.
won the belt,
Cleveland
inspired
had that
Cleveland
best
to win. The Indians went on a winning streak. Cavaliers won the title. He gets in the parade, and then he marries his fiance. I was like, that's a good ass month.
champion.
Now
That- honestly-
now I'm fighting the English Uberim.
I was so happy that he won, and then like a day later, I was like, "Oh fuck, fucking Cleveland! God damn it! I'm a world champ." I'm so
Does
happy for
Cleveland
him. I
lose
just,
their
like,
identity though, since they're
As
not
losers?
a losing town? Because
You know-
their whole identity was like they never win. Like what's their
You know,
identity?
I think we're gonna keep it that way
LeBron
just because
James.
the Browns, because the NFL is the strongest brand, and the Browns are still gonna fucking suck for years to come. So we can't.
And the
they
Indians are
can't-
going to get eliminated
They
the
can't
first round
quite
of
shed
playoffs.
it. They're pushing past it, but they can't. If the Cavaliers win another title, I think they can. But if it goes back to losing,
Cleveland's the town to have a quarterback who wins the Heisman, gets kicked out, and then still gets suspended for 4 games.
God.
Oh, Johnny!
How crazy is it that Joe Lozon,
Joe Lozon.
Lauzon.
Close
knocked
enough.
out Diego Sanchez?
Joe Lozon is
Your
top
favorite
three,
person
top
ever.
3 favorite fighter of all time.
Have you ever
Top
seen
3
that?
favorite of
Possibly.
yours?
Wait,
Yeah.
Really? That much?
The man is a fight of the night bonus award.
It's true.
He's incredible. When he loses, it's an incredible fight,
I am bloody
and it's
and
just
hard to watch.
him-
Like when Ally Quinta beat the shit out
Yeah.
of him, that was hard to
the
watch.
Jim Miller fight. I rewatched him versus Jim Miller 2 days ago at work, and I love that fight. And they're fighting again on, I think it's 202. I think they're fighting again, and that fight that's actually what I'm looking forward to most of all the fights. I'm looking forward more to that because it's just going to be a war. It's just a war.
Oh, you know what upset me about UFC 202? Is that they took the Carlos Condit Damian Maia fight off that
Did
card.
they?
Yeah, they're making it their own event.
Yeah.
Like, they're putting it on Fox. And I was like, no, that
That's super.
UFC 202 would have been a fucking great card. I was like instantly better than UFC 200. Just with that. Just with those fights. I would have fucking loved that.
I don't know. I really like Condit.
It's a
Condit's kind of
fight.
fucking bull.
I know, Condit's a blast. He's never
love
won
that
one
guy.
fight. Except the Nick
Fucking
Diaz fight.
Jimin
That
met
would
him
have
in
been.
person, and I literally fucking commented something stupid.
Jimin
like,
met
holy-
everyone. He met like Demetrius Johnson.
I
Carlos
fucking
Condit.
love Demetrius Johnson, but Carlos Condit has a special place in my heart. I literally wrote like, holy fucking shit.
You just love Greg Jackson's camp.
A little bit. I wrote like, holy fucking shit, dude, and I deleted it because I'm like, he's a professional now. He can't look stupid on Facebook, but that's what my heart told me to write. And I was like, all right, I
That
guess
makes
I'll
sense
delete this.
because we had Jimin on the podcast.
And he'll be back. I'm gonna get a
Eventually.
fucking at least a package, whatever the fucking card's coming. I'm gonna get some from him.
Are you really? That's
Yeah,
funny.
dude, I might as well. I'll get Jimin to sign them, and they'll be worth fucking mad bag. I'll make sure I get a Carlos Condit
Yo,
card.
solid plan, bro.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'll get like some legit fighters, and then yeah, I have ideas. I don't even like trading cards.
Ideas.
All
All
right,
right.
so it's getting pretty late, lads.
Oh no, Josh is mad. He only uses lads when he's gonna beat the shit out of his neighbors.
Fuck those little shits and beating on my fence. Where's my shovel?
Getting the house tour.
God.
I love that.
But alright, yeah, so Bear Cave MMA signing out. Josh.
What's up, bitches? I fucking love BoJack Horseman. What's up, bitches?
Are we ever ending?
But not that. Something like that.
But something like that.
All right, thanks Andrew for coming on. Shake my
Pleasure,
hand,
Richard.
They
Thanks, Chris.
didn't shake
Oh,
hands.
my hand.
They didn't touch hands.
We all touched. It was weird.
That's
we all
beautiful.
touched
We
each
have
other.
to.
Faces.
We all touched each other.
Why is
Everyone
his
listens to
handshake
that.
so much firmer?
Don't
than
edit
yours?
this shit out. We all touched
I will.
each
I
other.
will never edit this out.
I'm a businessman.
I feel
Alright,
like we
I'm a
should bow
business
more
man.
and handshake less.
I feel like if we bow though, they still won't see us bow. Like us talking about bowing.
It's all audio. It's fine.
I'm a
They can
big
just
fan of
picture.
bowing. I have to say, big fan of it.
You're also a big fan of sucking dick. I mean,
Your pal bend over.
Drew McCavity. Alright. Let's get the fuck out of here. Fuck this shit.
I'm not gay. I don't suck dick.
It's only gay.
Definitely not. That
All
would
right,
be
I
weird.
want everybody to really focus on the last part.
Most
I
definitely. I would
Dick.
never edit that
Attention, everybody.
MMA Bear Cave podcast, motherfuckers.
out. Hey.
All day.
That was a little aggressive.
That's a little forced, but signing out.